What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen. I'm broadcasting from the Boston, the Logan Airport in the city of Boston. It's located in the state of Massachusetts. Massachusetts is a state that's located on the east side of the United States. And in this video, guys, I want to share with you guys something that my friends and I have been discussing with James D'Angelo. My friends, meaning that myself and my buddy LeonFood.com, the oracle of cryptocurrencies, the Warren Buffett of cryptocurrencies, the oracle of Austin, Texas here, okay? In this video, guys, we came up with 3 pointers or 3 keys to success in what we propose to be a relaunch of the NXT cryptocurrency. Many of you guys know that myself and my buddy LeonFood.com, we have invested into NXT since the beginning. We were not there. We were not part of the 21 original stakeholders in NXT, but we were an early investor when it started trading. And so over the years, guys, we've made probably more NXT videos than anybody else.
Welcome to board to the main boarding lane from American Airlines Flight 1787 to Charlotte at Gate 6.
We have made more NXT videos on YouTube than anybody else on the market, and we believe that it's only fair that we create this updated video because many of you guys have asked me about what's up with the NXT, and maybe we have not said anything because we've not had anything to say until recently. The NXT community is trying to relaunch NXT as NXT 2.0, and myself and my friends, we would just like to give a little input to the NXT community that we want to outright say that we don't believe that rebranding NXT as NXT 2.0 is going to make any difference. And we ask ourselves if we can wave a magic wand and redo the entire NXT cryptocurrency again, how we would do it. So we came up with 10 key points that we believe can help relaunch NXT and bring it back to the forefront as the number 2 cryptocurrency again, okay? Now, before we go into these 10 key points, guys, I want to go over real quick with you guys. There's going to be several parts to this video. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but I'm going to shoot it in several parts, okay? Hopefully I'll get it all done before I catch my flight here. So before we start, guys, in case you are new to the NXT community, NXT was released in December of 2013 by an anonymous developer named BC, who goes by the handle or the nickname BC Next on Bitcoin Talk forum, and he released it in the release period during this when NXT was just put out. There was only like maybe a few days, and 21 people pitched in 21 Bitcoins. Each person pitched in a different amount, but BC Next was trying to raise 21 Bitcoins, and so there was like 75 people who pitched in, who contributed a total of 21 Bitcoins. Each person contributed a different amount, obviously, and after that was done, BC Next created 1 billion NXT coins, and he distributed it out to those 75 people who put money into the initial coin offering, okay? Now, keep in mind that I'm using the term initial coin offering or ICO at this moment, but back at that time, it was not called an ICO. It was just a crowd sale or a fundraising, okay? And so at the time after he got the 21 Bitcoins, apparently he was not doing it to make money because he did not raise that many Bitcoins, okay? He just wanted 21 just to prove a concept that it can be done. And then after he released the NXT software, then he disappeared and handed it over to the NXT community. So there were several things that went wrong during the launch of NXT. And I'm just gonna call it NXT 1.0, and then we'll talk about the new version or the relaunched NXT that's up and coming as NXT 2.0, so that we know the difference between the two, okay? So in the NXT 1.0, the original version, right, there was several mistakes that the NXT launch happened, and it was the first time that it was done in the cryptocurrency world, and so there was a lot of mistakes made and nobody knew how to deal with it. But now that NXT has been out and it has made all the mistakes, and then the new cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum and Augur and Slock and all these other ones have benefited from it, I believe that there's a strong support and strong evidence that if NXT learns from the mistakes and the successes of these new cryptocurrencies, that there is still time in the cryptocurrency timeline in the history of cryptocurrencies for NXT to relaunch itself and become at the forefront again and become the trendsetter that it was again. Okay, so so there were several problems that made NXT fail. One was that the billion NXT coins were distributed to 75 people. The time period in which the pre-launch or the pre-sale or the crowd sale occurred, it only happened in a very short period of time and nobody knew about it, and nobody at the conferences knew about it. Only a very small select number of people inside the Bitcoin forums knew about it, okay? So this has always created an animosity and jealousy and envy among the cryptocurrency community, because people that wanted to participate in it could not participate in it, okay? So at the time that everyone bought the NXT coins, the 75 original stakeholders, when they bought in at 2 Satoshis. The NXT coins were worth 2 Satoshis each during the launch at the IPO time or the ICO time. And then when it started trading, they were all worth about 2,000 Satoshis or more. So right away, every one of those 75 original stakeholders automatically benefited by having 1,000 times return or 1,000x return on their original investment. So this created a lot of envy and animosity among the cryptocurrency community. And so that was the first thing. The second thing was that the idea that it was a pre-mined coin, which was new to the cryptocurrency world at that time, and NXT was the first one to do that, based on the proof of stake algorithm, right? It created even more animosity because people felt that they were being cheated, okay, and that it was a scam, even though it wasn't, right? So now, to get rid of all these problems and relaunch it again, here are the 10 points that I want to share with you guys that my friends and I came up with the help of James D'Angelo from the World Bitcoin Network. And just to be fair, guys, James has never invested in any of the cryptocurrency of the NXT. He has never believed it to be real. He has always thought that it was bogus, so he has never invested in it. So even though he gave us some input on what to do, he himself has never invested into the NXT like myself and LeonFood.com. Okay, so just be clear on that. Okay, so let's run through this list really quick, guys. The first key to success in relaunching NXT here is to have a 3-month legitimate ICO. I got the list in front of me here, guys. We have a 3-month legitimate ICO, and so that it can be broadcasted. There's plenty of time for everybody to get involved, so that there's nobody that's going to cry about they missed out on it or anything. Okay. The second key to success in relaunching NXT, okay, is to eliminate the centralization. In the past, when it was first created, 75 people owned 1 billion NXT coins, and there's no reason for that. And I spoke with James, and many of you guys know he was a former electrical engineer at NASA, and so he's a true rocket scientist, okay? And I believe that out of all the people out there that is a real scientist, I believe that James D'Angelo is definitely a true and legitimate scientist. And he's not just a researcher or some engineer. He's a real someone that you would think of when you think of a scientist, And he claims that you need to have several hundred people that own the NXT so that the stakeholders are all distributed, and 75 is not a big enough number. Ideally, we would want to have like over 1,000 people owning the NXTs, or at least large portions of it, so that they can mine and process the NXT's transactions with their computers, okay? So the third is to And these are not in any particular order, guys. I just jotted down these keys to success as I was talking to these guys and just brainstorming on it. The third is to notate and publish the proof of stake algorithm that NXT has. We all believe that the proof of stake algorithm in NXT is not very clear. It's not very accurate. A couple of my friends tried to read it, and it's not annotated, and it's not commented, and it's not configured in a way that's easy for a programmer to read and understand what's going on. Okay, now that although it's important, it can also be done after the fundraising is done. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be done in the beginning, but I think that having a white paper on the NXT's proof of stake right now would make it so that everyone can either attack it, criticize it, or verify that it works. Okay, and I believe that right now, this is just a personal opinion of mine and some of my friends, that the reason why a clear and concise
Flight 591, this is the 255 departure to Philadelphia, Joey Marks B8. We are expecting a full flight. Your carry-on allowance is 1 carry-on bag and 1 personal.
So we believe that the reason why the proof of stake algorithm has not been clearly published in a white paper is because whoever it is that's creating that proof of stake algorithm understands that there may be some weaknesses in it, and that if it gets printed, that the entire public NXT public ledger or the blockchain will get hacked immediately, because it will not stand up to a hack. Okay, and I believe that this needs to be published for several reasons. Even if that is true, I still believe that it needs to be clearly stated and made public, so that if there is any weaknesses in the proof of stake, that we might as well let the hackers attack it now and then fix it, the problem afterwards. Otherwise, if we keep trying to hide it, no one's going to know. Okay. The fourth key to success in relaunching NXT is to make announcements, public announcements at all the public and well-known and recognized Bitcoin conferences, like the one in New York, the one in Miami, Texas Bitcoin Conference, and then obviously the Bitcoin Foundation's conference themselves. And we just do follow exactly the same thing that Ethereum did when Vitalik went around on a road trip to promote the Ethereum. I believe that if we do that with the NXT, we have a good chance of
255 departure to Philadelphia, gate number B8, please. Again, first class only, welcome aboard.
We were able to relaunch it and have more trust and integrity in doing this, okay? And more people will know about it, all right?
Business class, executive platinum members, One World Emerald, and Sapphire customers, you're welcome aboard through the priority lane for American Airlines Flight 591, 255 departure.
So the fifth key to success in relaunching NXT is that we identify a clear use case and ideal customer that can use NXT. And here's some examples, like the Ethereum guys, they promoted them as smart contracts, the decentralized autonomous organizations, the Turing complete scripting language, right? So it's for those, it's very clear who the customers of that will be. For example, like DOGE, Doggy coin, when they came out, they promoted it as a tipping coin, and it's a joke coin, all right? Monero, Dash, they focus on anonymity and privacy, and then MAID, Safe, Storj, and Coin. All those are designed for distributed cloud services. And then we have like Slock that's coming out, and they're focused on the hardware and software lots. And then you have the recent one with Lisk.io, who is focused on decentralized apps, okay? So all these cryptocurrencies, when you think about them, it's very clear in your mind what they are for. But when you think of NXT, it's not clear what it is, okay? And here are a couple of questions that I come from a sales and marketing background. So here are a couple of questions that I invite you guys to consider when you guys are relaunching the NXT and when you rebrand it, okay? The first question is, what is the potential customer or user's irrational pain, okay? What is the pain that the customer or the potential user is having that NXT is trying to solve? If you don't understand what that irrational pain or that urgency is that NXT is trying to solve, then we're not going to be on the same track. So the second question that you want to ask yourself after you understand the potential customer or user's irrational pain or suffering is, the second question you want to ask is the potential customer or user actively searching for a solution? Because if someone has a problem or a pain that they want, but they don't realize that they have that pain or that problem, then you creating a solution for it is not going to make a difference in their life because they're not aware that they have it. In other words, if I have a headache and you have a solution or a medicine that fixes my headache, and I'm fully aware that I have that headache, then I'll buy it and I'll use it. But if I'm not aware that I have a headache, right, then I won't use it. Okay? So the seventh key to success here in relaunching NXT is that we include bonuses and incentives during the ICO, just like Ethereum did, where you get 2,000 if you buy in the first week, and then you get a smaller amount in the second week, and even smaller amount the third week. And then Lisk did it by offering bonuses. You get a 10% bonus in coins if you buy in the first day, the second week, the third week, and so on. Okay, so that way it'll incentivize people to join the ICO. The eighth key to success is to get Microsoft on board, like Lisk and Ethereum and Augur and all these did, so that the NXT gets hosted on the Microsoft Azure cloud service, so that it will bring recognition to NXT. The ninth is to set aside funding for development and for sales and for marketing, those things. When NXT was first released, it was pre-mined, there was no marketing funding, there was no development funds, and nothing set aside for that, because BC Next never anticipated any of that, and obviously he didn't know anything about sales or marketing, or else he would have had those things in mind. Okay, so I believe that having that funding in place will make a huge difference for the success of NXT going forward into the future. So once there is funding for the sales and the marketing of NXT, and there's also enough funding for the development of NXT, then during the ICO it can be run there will be enough money to hire good developers, Java coders and developers, to work on the NXT software. Okay, keep in mind that when we're talking about hiring good coders, we're talking about coders that will cost over $100,000 US a year to find these good coders. Okay, so don't think that it's going to be cheap. You're not going to be able to find good coders for 10 or 20 Bitcoins a year. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the ICO and set aside development funding just for those people alone, so that NXT has a strong team of developers to write the software. And number 10 key to success for relaunching NXT is to come up with a new name for NXT. When BC Next came out with the name Next, right? Apparently he must not be from America, because if you try to say, Next or NX Next coin or any of that, it sounds really weird. It does not fit and it does not flow smoothly in the English language. And most of the people that's going to be investing are going to be English speakers. And it's just a weird name. When you say, hey, what's next, it doesn't have the right sound. Okay, people think that what is going to follow or what is going to continue. They don't think that next is actually a currency, a product, or a service. So we need to eliminate that confusion by coming up with a better name. And I propose that the name that we come up with for NXT answers those two marketing questions. What is the potential customer's irrational pain or suffering? And then it also answers what is the potential customer customer actively searching for a solution to their pain or their problem. So make sure that the name that we come up with actually, when people hear it, the name alone is a marketing tool, so that people know immediately that this product or this service addresses this particular problem. Okay. So those are the 10 keys to success in relaunching NXT. I believe that it can be done. Now, some people may think that reinventing and relaunching NXT 2.0 may or may not work. And I want to share with you guys why I call this proposal and this solution that in this video, I call it the Madonna solution. And the reason why is because when I first came to America, I remember that Madonna, when she first came on the scene, when I was in elementary school, Madonna was seen as the party girl. okay? And then later on, by the time I got to like junior high school, Madonna had reinvented herself as the sex symbol, okay? By the time I was in junior high and high school, she became a sex symbol. And by the time I got out of high school, she had reinvented herself again into, you know, like a modern woman, you know, a diva, okay? And then later on, by the time I started going out and working out in the real world and stuff, Madonna again reinvented herself to become the strong and powerful woman and things like that. So I believe that if people like Madonna and other people like that can reinvent themselves, I think that a product or a service can also reinvent themselves too. Just like Apple reinvented themselves, just like you know, places like, you know, there's a lot of businesses, there's a lot of celebrities and well-to-known-to-do people that reinvented themselves, okay? If you ever read the 48 Laws of Power, one of the laws in there, one of the keys to power in the book, the 48 Laws of Power, is also to reinvent yourself when things are not going your way. And I believe right now that if NXT does not reinvent itself, that I believe that by the end of 2016, NXT will no longer even be mentioned or even be heard of. It will always be known as the pre-mined coin and the first Bitcoin 2.0 coin that came out pre-mined, but it will never last into history. And I believe that if NXT doesn't come back to the top 5 traded coins on the coin market cap, I will probably unload all my NXTs. And when I say unloaded, I'll probably just get rid of all the NXTs that I have by the end of 2016 and just pretty much give it away. I probably will not even go to the exchanges to exchange it into Bitcoin or anything because it's going to be worthless, okay, by then. So I believe that 2016 is a very, very critical year for NXT. It's a do or die. We got to take the 50-cent approach, either, you know, get rich trying or get rich or die trying, okay? And so I believe that this Madonna solution to reinventing and relaunching NXT will take it back to the forefront of the cryptocurrency community. And if you guys have any questions or comments about this, or you guys have a better solution, I invite you guys to leave it in the comments below. If you guys don't like the solutions or the keys to success in relaunching and reinventing NXT, then make sure that you guys leave a valid comment or a valid suggestion or solution. Don't just say that my proposals or my solution sucks or that I'm an idiot or anything like that. Make sure that you leave a clear solution so that everyone else in the NXT community can benefit from it. These are the ideas that myself and LeonFu.com, with the help of James D'Angelo, that we brainstormed to come up with to make NXT successful, okay? And so thanks for watching this video, guys. If you guys like it, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't like it, give me a thumbs down. And make sure you subscribe to the channel and you'll get more of these videos, okay? I have to catch my flight now, and I'll see you guys in a future video.